I'm Robrad78.
And I'm Fidget 1185.
And welcome to our Couples Therapy.
Welcome back to Couples Therapy, where we talk about this, that, and the other thing.
And we're doing a new formula here. We usually have a subject to talk about, and today's subject is, but we're going to scratch that from now on. I think we've hit the point where we have done like the main subjects for the couples therapy, and we're going to actually just go off topics of current events that happen around us, and we're going to also just just have conversations, and then it's no longer going to be like an episode themed on something. It's going to be an episode, we record it, and then whatever's the most interesting thing, we're going to make the title, and kind of the rest will just kind of be a surprise. Obviously, in the descriptions, we'll put what we talked about. But other than that, yeah. So, got a lot of cool subjects today. As of this recording, it is Tuesday, the day before Wednesday. It is the 7th of January.
You know how the days of the week work.
Yeah. But, so yesterday was January 6th of this recording, and it was the first Raw on Netflix. And we both watched it. Granted, I fell asleep, so I had to watch it the next night, or the next morning. Going to work, I watched it. So we both have a few things here to say. I'll leave the floor to you first, and you can kind of say your piece on what's going on, and then I'll add to it.
Overall, as the show as an entirety, I was impressed. I think it's gonna be good. Instead of being 2 hours like it has been for the past little while, it's now 3 again. And I like how you actually get a good portion or chunk of the show before they decide to go to commercial. And I feel now the commercials aren't as long, because I felt when it was on cable TV, it was you get 5 minutes of show and 10 minutes of commercials, and of course I'm exaggerating, but that's what it felt like. And then I feel like now you're getting a good 15-20 minutes of show and 2 to 3 minutes of advertising, which I really think that's how TV should be, but that's a topic for another day. Anyways, but overall, the matches were good. I was just disappointed in 2 of them. I was happy all my people except in those 2 matches won. The one that got me was, spoiler alert if you haven't watched it, what are you doing with your life? But spoiler alert, the one that got me was the Drew McIntyre match versus the Jey Uso match. And it was good back and forth, don't get me wrong, but what gets me is Drew had the perfect opportunity to win that match, and he was strutting around I got this made, I got this in the bag, I got this one. And apparently, he likes to do that in every match, and it's how well is that working out for you, dear? It ain't. So maybe you should save the strutting and showboating until after the match when you win. Because he could have won. And, I don't know if that's just, part of, a gimmick or, a storyline. I've only been watching wrestling for, how long have we been together? 3 years?
Yeah, just about.
So, I've literally have only been watching wrestling for that long. And who was it? It was CM Punk, and who else?
Seth Rollins.
Yes. That one got me. I felt Seth should have won, but that's because I can't stand CM Punk. Sorry for the lovers of CM Punk out there. He's just not my cup of tea. But I thought it was funny how Seth did CM Punk's move, the go to sleep, and then CM Punk took Seth's move, like the curb stomp or whatever it is.
Yep.
I thought that was kind of like, okay. But, I mean, again, there's a lot of good back and forth, don't get me wrong, but just, in my opinion, the wrong person won. Yeah. Oh, and I was so happy Rhea Ripley got her title back. I'm so happy about that. And then, yeah. So, again, overall, I was pretty happy with that. Like, I think their first episode on Netflix was good. And it's great because you could go back and watch it. What are your thoughts and feelings?
So to go back to the ads and the commercials or whatnot, one thing I liked about it wasn't the same commercials over and over. Fortnite did have a couple commercials, but I noticed they did different themes each time. So like one was about OG, then one was about regular, and whatnot. So I think that was kind of cool how they weren't the same ones. You didn't hear BK.
Have it your way.
Like 50 times. It's like, okay, we get it. But you can't have it your way at BK. That's why that commercial annoys me. You're only set to limited stuff at BK. Why is it? But I could go on a tangent about that. And one thing I noticed about Raw, the first Raw of Netflix, is that every match the face won. The heel didn't win in any of the matches. I mean, you could argue the fact that both Seth and CM Punk are kind of in-betweeners. They're not really heel or face at the moment. But if it was booked one way, they would have put CM Punk as the face and Seth as the heel. And, yeah, in every match, the face won. A few things to also talk about is they started it off with The Rock, and he kind of acknowledged Cody, like he's face now all of a sudden. So like that completely changes the storyline of how we thought things were gonna go. And is the Rock actually officially done with wrestling? Like, is he just kind of there now? Then you had John Cena come out for a little bit, and he announced himself into the Royal Rumble. John Cena, when I was a kid, I know I was younger, and I felt like his story building was a little bit more interesting back then than it is now, because like the way he talked back then was more like proving himself and being like, I'm gonna do this. But now he kind of just talks like he's almost talking to like a kid's show or something. Like he like plays himself dumb, kind of, not like trying to insult him or anything, but like his whole promo was like basically him saying, what am I gonna do? Oh, I know, I could go to the Royal Rumble. Oh, that's what I gotta do. And it's like, John Cena knows how the WWE works. I don't know why he had to pretend like, oh, I didn't know that's how I go to my title. But like, I get it. He's being goofy for the kids and trying to be there for the kids or whatnot. I get that. But I feel like growing up, he wasn't like that. And maybe it's because he's not trying to steal the spotlight too much, and he's just trying to be, take his time, but also not, spoil the rest for everyone else. But like, I don't know. Since he started getting in a losing streak, his gimmick was more like, oh, like whenever anybody else is talking in the ring with him, he's kind of just pointing at them like, get him over, do this, kind of thing. And yeah, I enjoy him for what he is. It's his last year. I'm gonna be rooting for him. And yeah, I'm excited for that. We had Rhea Ripley win, and then Undertaker came out. Of course, Undertaker's the one that got me into wrestling, so that means a lot to me. We had Hulk Hogan get booed out of the stage, and then acted like he didn't get booed and goes, thank you, you all been great. So that was interesting. Yeah, I don't know. Guy did make the legacy of WWE what it is today. Like, there would be no WWE without Hulk Hogan back in the day. But a man that can't admit his faults is also not a man that should be on national TV trying to get attention. I think we're past the thanking him for what he built for us, and I think it's time to just let him ride out to wherever he's going, because I just don't think he's meant to be back on TV. That's my personal opinion. But that's all I have for wrestling. All the faces won. Yeah, and like we say, this is not a wrestling podcast, but wrestling is part of our life. So of course we're going to start off talking about something big that happened on wrestling.
So I have a question. Do you think that there's a reason why that they had like all the faces win? Like, do you think there's like a greater
Probably the ratings.
reasoning behind it?
They figure, like they're going to want either kids or whatever are watching it, they're going to want their heroes to win, and the ratings were boosted probably from it because people wanted to see these special people win, and they all won. I don't know if many people noticed that, because I haven't heard anybody really comment on the fact that all the faces won, but
Yeah, it literally didn't dawn on me till you had said that, and it's like, huh, you're right.
yeah.
Because, I mean, I only ask because, like, I know sometimes in wrestling, there's, like, a reason why, like, they do certain things or why they have certain people win. Because, like, later on, like, down the line, like, at another, like, big event or whatever,
90% of the time it's to boost the ratings.
Okay, I mean, that's why I ask. Shed a little insight.
Yeah. So, like, they have The Rock, John Cena, and all of them back because it's going to boost the ratings.
Of course.
People are watching. They're having a good time. The heroes winning. Yeah, there's some people like me that want to see some of the heels win. Like, like Roman Reigns is kind of towards the end of his career, sort of, kind of. I don't know. But, like, at this point of his career, I think it would do Solo more justice to win than Roman at a point, just because he's younger and he's got more to prove. But he's going after his title, his not even a belt title, his actual like name title, going after his tribal chief gimmick. I get why the Roman Reigns won, and I like I said, that match altogether was kind of conflicted. It's kind of weird all in general for like someone to have a gimmick and then somebody immediately after they like disappear for a while decide, no, that's my gimmick now. I was kind of off on it from the beginning of like, okay, now we're supposed to act like this guy is the same as that guy, but he didn't put in all the work that guy put in. Again, storyline part of it, you're supposed to boo him because he didn't put in the credits for what it just cheap heat, I guess, which sometimes you need it. But yeah, that's wrestling. We're going to get off wrestling. It's been 13 minutes of wrestling talk, pretty much. And now we're going to get into our other subjects that we have to talk about for today. The first subject I want to talk about is retirements. I was at a retirement party last week. Had a blast there. Ran into a lot of old friends that work on second shift because this was a second shift person retiring. It got me thinking about a lot of things because, like someday I too aspire to retire. Aspire to retire. That
Very
almost
poetic.
rhymes. But, it's just one of those things where, like, I don't even know how retirement really works, to be honest with you. I mean, I know I'm not of that age yet, but I feel like I should know something about it, but I know nothing about it.
Right? I feel like I'm closer to that age and I don't know
Right.
much about it.
So it's like, I don't even know what I have to do when I get to that point. Be like, I don't think you just go, I think I'm ready to retire. Like, I think you have to literally set things up. Like, you got to go talk to a financial advisor. I know that much. And see what your financial plans are. But also, I know most people say you're not really supposed to retire until about 65 because that's when you can cash in your Social Security. But then there's some people that can't even retire after that because then they're still not making enough for a living. So that's something I want to learn more about. Retirement plans, this and that. I was talking to my buddy about it And yeah, it's just something I need to get more information on. If you guys know more about retirement stuff, feel free to put some comments down below. And yeah, would love to have a chat about it. So overall, my thoughts about retirement, I plan on retiring. You know, at my job, we have an 80 and out situation. So when your years of age equals the year of, your years of age plus the years you've worked there equals up to 80 years total. That's when you can technically retire at my job. So what I'm saying is if I was 40 and I'd worked there 40 years, first off, not possible. Because I'd have to start there as soon as I was born. It equals 80. And then I would be able to retire at 40. But
Jeez.
there would be a lot of legal issues in that situation. So, like, for instance, I started my job when I was 20, I want to say 21, almost 22. I've been there 8 years now. That tracks. Yep, I'm 29 now. So, yep. No, I was questioning it because I didn't know if I started when I was 22 or not. But yeah, I was 21. On the end of 21 going into 22. So I've been there 8 years now. So 21 plus, or 29 now plus my 8, I would be, math for me, 37? Yeah.
Yes.
So I want that 37 to be all the way to 80. So I don't plan on retiring the second I hit 80 and out. But there's that cushion of where, like, once I hit 80 and out, I could just, at any moment, just say I'm done and cash out. But I won't be of age for Social Security yet. I've done the math before. I won't be 65 yet. So that's the age that you are considered a senior and you can actually retire. So I don't know, because a lot of people say it's not best to retire immediately at 65. It's more like 67, 8, or 9. It's one of those things where I guess I'll have to see how I'm doing financially by then.
Well, not only financially, but health-wise.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like that plays a factor. I mean, like, if you have to retire at 65 for health reasons, I mean, obviously.
Yeah.
I feel like...
There are a lot of people in factory work that even with bad health, they just keep pushing through. And, like, honestly, I'm not going to lie to you. There's a lot of people that the second they retire, it's like within the next 3 years they're gone because their health was so deteriorated from work. And then also people's minds go from, well, now what do I do? And they can't process anything and they just kind of give up on their body. Not saying that's going to happen to me. I have plenty of plans when I retire. Hopefully I'll be the old guy still doing this podcast. We'll be on episode 10,000 by then. But that would be cool if we were still doing this by then. If we are, we're going to do a flashback to this.
Man, I'd be a super old lady then.
Yeah. That's another question. Like, if one of us goes and, like, a weird thing, do we just continue doing this solo?
I don't know. I would think not, since it would be couples therapy.
Right.
And that's something, you know, we did together.
But, like, the whole thing would be, like, they're here with me in spirit kind of thing. And, like, it's one of those things where, like, you know how they always say it's what they would want they would want the show to continue or something, the show to go on.
The show must go on, even if I didn't.
What would you say? If you were gone, would you want the show to keep going? And I know if I was gone, I wouldn't mind if you kept doing that. It'd be kind of cool.
If I was gone, yeah. You know,
morbid subject, but
sorry to get a little deep on you guys here.
Right. But that's what we do here on the Couple Therapy podcast.
I feel, you know, since this is something that, like, we started together and, you know, this is, like, our little, like, project. Well, not project, that's the wrong word, but, like, our little time to be together.
Yeah, you almost want to say hobby, but then it's like,
but that's
we
like
put a little more effort into it than just a hobby.
Right. This is, like, our thing that we do together. And yeah, if I met my untimely demise. We'll just say that.
Right.
Yeah, I hope you would. And, just know that, like, I would be,
Kind of want to put this episode in a time capsule and be like, 10 years from now we look at it, then 20 years and 30.
oh, that would be nuts.
Just like label this episode the time capsule episode or something. Maybe we'll do a time capsule episode in the future.
Yeah.
Because, like, I got other subjects in this one, too. But the retirement thing is very interesting. I definitely want to come back and look at this in the future. And, but yeah.
Speaking on retirement real quick, I just wanted to add that, like, finally, like, my dad has retired from work.
Yeah.
And he's in his 70s, like early 70s. And, I forget how long my mom's been retired, but she's been retired for years now. And, I feel like it's a good thing that, my dad did retire, because then, with all that's been going on with him.
Yeah. But that happened after he retired.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, I'm glad that he did retire.
But I don't think that would have happened to him. That's the thing. Would it have happened to him if he wanted to retire? Would he be worried about fixing the gutter or cleaning
or whatever
the
he was doing at that time?
Or would he be like, I'll save that for when I finally retire?
No, because during, like, this time, like, winter time, like, he does, like, would get up on the ladder and clean out the gutters.
But maybe it wouldn't have been necessarily that day, because maybe he would have been exhausted from work and been like, I'll get back to it on another day. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just never know.
I mean, it's one of those conundrums.
Because it's clearly the reason why it happened is because it happened that day.
Right. And I'm just wondering, like, how it would have been, like, how he would be now, like,
trying to go to work and injured.
Well, luckily, he was working from home, so...
I bet it would have put him into early retirement. Like, not early retirement, because he needed to retire anyways. But I bet if he hadn't already planned to retire, I bet that would have been the point where he's like, well, now I have to retire because I can't go to work, and it's either retire or lose my job kind of thing.
Right.
Which he probably wouldn't have lost his job, but...
No, well, like I said, though, he was working from home, so...
Yeah, I guess he could have still been working.
Yeah, his commute would be from the bedroom to his work office. And
the only difference is when he walked to his office, he'd be like, ow, 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 ow. Then when he got set down, he'd probably be in pain.
But, so I'm just kind of wondering, like, what my dad plans on doing, like, once he's fully, like, recovered. And long story short, in case you're wondering, my dad broke his hip. Yeah. And so he's been recovering, doing the physical therapy and all of that. So, yeah, once he's fully healed up from all of that, I'm kind of curious as to know, like, what does he plan on doing?
Fidgeting with shit.
Like with my mom, when she's retired, or since she's been retired, her and my aunt, like, they go on these big trips, but, like, they plan, like, these trips, like a year in advance, if not longer. And, this last one she went to, Ireland and Scotland, and it's like, those are two places on my bucket list that I want to go. But, yeah, so, like I said, it'll just be kind of interesting, like, you would think my mom would slow down, like, now that she's retired. Oh, God, no.
It's one of those things where, like, for me, I don't get it, because, like, once you retired, you're only set to a limited income now. You're not making extra money. You're not getting bonuses. You're not getting any kind of, like, overtime or anything like that. You're set at a specific paycheck per week. And granted, your dad was still working at the time, but now he's not. And it's not in my business on what they make or whatnot,
right,
or what they even do. That's up to them. But, like, because I live in a world where I worked in a factory as an operator that makes bare minimum money, basically, it's like I couldn't see retiring and then doing extravagant things, because I would go broke and then be like, how am I going to survive the rest of the world? Because I'd basically have to go back to work.
Right.
So, for my hopefully in the future I make so much money I don't have to worry about that.
That would be nice.
Wouldn't that?
Yes. Anyways, Karen.
So, retirement stuff. What's your plan when you finally retire? Do you have things that you want to do on your bucket list before you kick the bucket.
Well,
That's what we're going to call it.
some of the things, is traveling, but then, it's like, well, probably that won't happen. Places that, like, I want to go, like, I want to see, like I just mentioned.
And that's one of those things where, like, in the years before we retire, we could do those things.
Right.
Get them out of the way.
Right, but all of that's, like, super expensive.
Right.
But,
And it don't have to be all in 1 year. We have, like, 30, 40 years until we retire anyways. Well, not 40, but 30-ish. Like 70 is not bad.
No. But
25 at the least.
don't remind me of how old I am.
Yep.
I don't know. I mean, that's just, I feel like that would be something like I would kind of want to sit and kind of think about, because
that's why we're here.
Or, and yeah, like going out, like leaving the country, yeah, that would be fine, all fun and whatnot. But I feel, just going to like another state, something as simple as that.
Like Indiana?
Yeah, I mean, we're doing that soon. But I'm just saying, we're 6 hours away from there. We're...
Go to Texas.
We could. Go to Colorado, visit my sister.
I don't know if when I'm older if I'd want to go to New York.
But
I don't know if I don't know. I've always thought about New York. Like for some reason, if I was like an actor or something, I felt like I would be more of a New York actor than a Hollywood actor. Just because like they still feel like they're part of the city, where the Hollywood actors always seem like they're too good for everything, kind of.
So what about you? Same question about
Oh, me easily. Be home. I would have 100% on game achievements all day, every day. I'd be doing guides, be like, this is what you do. Yeah, man. Beat Halo 3 for the 500th time.
I can speed run this with my eyes closed.
Maybe that will be my challenges back by then. I don't know. Hopefully something happens with YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, something that helps me continue to go and be more creative in the influence industry. I wouldn't mind doing more stuff with y'all, but even if I'm old and gray, I feel like I'll still be out there making something, even if it's like, even if I don't ever like get my collective group of Robratians or whatever we want to call them. The Robrats. They're all brats.
About the fidget spinners?
Yeah, that's your group.
Well, wouldn't it be like one collective group?
Not necessarily.
No.
If you make your own content and I make my own content, the Robrats would be watching the solo stuff too.
That's fair.
They would come together when it came to the podcast, but if we were doing other things.
And who knows, some of your Robrats could become fidget spinners, and some of my fidget spinners could become Robrats.
Good.
Anyway.
Anyway, that's another tangent. Retirement, looking forward to it or not looking forward to it?
Yes and no.
Good answer.
Yes, because, well, I was going to explain. I wasn't, like, trying to
Yes and no, long pause.
I wasn't, like, trying to cop out of, like, explaining.
Yes and no.
That's the end of my thought. No, yes, because it would, be nice to not have to worry about getting up for work every day.
Yes.
But no, in the sense of, like, crap, like, I got all this time on my hands now. Like, what on God's green earth am I going to do?
Other thing I don't like about retirement is you have all the time in the world, but you don't have much time left. Like, why is society to where we have to retire at such a old age that, like, most people, like, the average age of living is 75 years. And it's probably less now, but it was 75 years. So even if you retire at 65, what, you got 10 years left on average? But say you can't retire at 65. Okay, well then that's just more and more years of you just not being able to be around much for retirement.
Right. I've seen it where, people have retired and then like they get like a part-time to help.
I could see me doing that.
I could see you enjoying being home for a little while and then being like, gotta do something. Like, I can't just. But no, I'm honestly though, but like
I know you see me on the weekends. I'm pretty enjoyable just being in my little pod.
That's any day of the week. That's not just weekends.
But I'm saying those are the times where I'm there 24 hours and I still don't complain about it.
Right.
I complain when I have to go out of the house.
Where I'm like
get me out of here.
I'm literally the exact opposite where it's like, I don't mind being like in our little pod, whatever.
Love it.
But sometimes it's like, can we leave? Can we just get out of the house? Because I go stir crazy.
And see, I feel like now that you work a little distance away from your work, you'll get some of that stir crazy out. Because you have things that you could stop and be like, oh, well, I'm going to go check on this now today because I haven't done this. And now you've kind of gotten used to driving a little bit that you can kind of go do things on your own. Yeah. But like me, for instance, I've been here for so long that I know there's not a whole lot to offer in the driving around issue. All you're doing is making your gas go down low and having to spend more money on gas when you could just be doing a hobby. Right. Which you're probably still at the point where you're looking for that hobby, what your hobby is. Because, like, I know I talk about influencing and doing, like, YouTube, Twitch, and all that stuff. That's stuff I enjoy doing, but that's not something that Fidget really aspired to do growing out. Like, even when I did Twitch streaming, like, Fidget wasn't normally a streamer either. She's done a few streams now, and like, but it's never like one of those things where she feels like, oh, I should get back on that.
I mean, that's true. That's been like that I've been feeling that way for a little while. But then when I look at my Twitch thing and it says last live like 3 months ago, like, I don't want to be one of those people where it's like, oh, hey, I'm back for a short period of time and then leaves for like 3 months and then comes back. I don't want to do that. Like, when I was doing it a little more consistently, at least trying to hit that affiliate, like, it was fun.
Which she got it.
I did, yes.
Crushed it. Krisnushed it.
But, yeah, I do miss it. Maybe that's, like, at least 2 days a week. Monday, Tuesday, just do that. Or something.
While I'm at work.
Or who knows, do them long streams and, like, you could just kick it with me when you get home from work. But
then we don't have time to record. See, that's the thing is, like, with my schedule, I keep it pretty tight with the social media. I do this, then after we're done with this, I make a thumbnail, I edit it a little bit. I don't edit these a whole lot because they're podcasts. They're supposed to be kind of ranty. You're supposed to just kind of put them on and listen to them while you're driving, doing whatever. That's what podcasts really are. Sure. Yeah, you want subjects that obviously you're talking about, going back and forth. And something that wants to be relatable to the viewers. But at the end of the day, it's like, am I going to spend countless hours cutting out the awkward pauses and all that? I don't, like, especially since we record these the day before and I'm up since 2:30 in the morning most nights because I don't take showers most of the time on Monday, so I have to go take it on Tuesday morning. I take a shower. Let's get that right. I just don't take it right after work.
He doesn't usually take them the night before. He takes them in the morning, thus him getting up
early.
A little bit earlier than what he normally does.
On Mondays.
Yes.
I prefer to take them right after work. But with the way our house is set up, it just doesn't work that way. Every time you want to take a shower, somebody's letting the dogs out.
Or someone's in the bathroom, so you have to wait longer. The
Or
choice of one bathroom.
The best part is somebody's in the bathroom, then they get out, and then you're like, I'm going to go take a shower. And they're like, oh, wait, you're going to go to the bathroom? And it's like, why does it matter? Like, you just got done in there.
Right, and I'm trying to get better about this, but, like, going back to, like, the whole shower thing, like, if there are people, like, home, you know, and, like, I got my clothes and whatnot, and be like, I'm getting in the shower, does anybody need to go to the bathroom? And I just mainly do that as a courtesy, because, like, I know how it is sometimes. It's like, you'll be fine, and then, like, the next minute, your bladder's like, no, you gotta go to the bathroom, and you gotta go now. So it's like, I try and give people that, and then, you know.
You think if the walls weren't as thin, and, like, you can't hear the shower running from the other rooms, you think that it wouldn't make everybody have to go pee when somebody's in the bathroom?
I mean,
because it is weird that everybody all of a sudden has to go pee when somebody goes and takes a shower.
Well, and then here's an example. Like, what was it? Sunday, I woke up at like 6:30 in the morning. Had to use the bathroom, and we're talking like my eyeballs were floating in my head. Like, that's how bad it was. And then Mama Brad was in there taking a shower because she had work that day. And it's like, oh God, like, what am I going to do? So I'm like trying to get back into bed, and he's like, no, just blah, blah, blah. And I was like, ugh. So mind you, I'm tired. I want to go back to bed. So finally she gets out of the bathroom.
I'm going to defend myself here for a second.
Go ahead.
First off, the reason why I went, blah, 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 which is not exactly what I said, because I dare you to hear the quote that I actually said that, except for just right now. Is she sleep? So the way our bed is set up is she sleeps on the side that's like by the wall, basically. So she has to crawl out through my side early in the morning when I was asleep. And it's like, okay, you're going to crawl back into bed just to get out in like another 10 minutes. It's like, I'm not one of those people that likes to hit the snooze button. When I'm up, I'm up. But when I'm trying to sleep, leave me alone.
And
who's with me?
And so then, you know, she gets out of the bathroom, and I'm sitting on the couch, like, I'm doing this whole, you know, like, rocking thing, like, okay, don't think about it, don't think about it, don't think about it. And then, here's the funny thing, though. Then it was like, I was the biggest inconvenience because my bladder was on the verge of exploding because I needed to go pee. And so she said, do you need to go in? And it's like, yeah. And, like, literally, I was done in, like 30 seconds.
10 to 15 minutes.
30 seconds or less, because it's like I just literally had to go to the bathroom.
Numero uno.
And then went back to sleep until my alarm went off for work.
There we go.
Anyways.
All right. The last subject that we're going to talk about. I love these tangents. I don't even know how we got on the bathroom situation, honestly, but I love it. That's what the podcast is for. And this is how it's going to be from now on. Is just
watch your birthday.
No. Got to be theatric.
Yes, but not too close to my
Yes, I do.
Stop it.
Anyways, as I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted. So this is kind of the formula we're going to kind of go with on these podcasts now. Is instead of having a general subject, we're just going to kind of go into it with subjects we have, but not make it the whole podcast, because I feel like that's where we get stuck on, like, oh, well, what's next to talk about? And then you have all those awkward pauses. Where this one, maybe there's a few awkward pauses, and I'm not going to go through and really edit it to find out, but we kind of had a good back and forth more. Yeah, sure, there's a lot of ums probably. But on to the last subject, and I think this one is an interesting one. A lady divorced her husband, and she decided to get remarried to an AI. So, first off, when you look into these AIs, it's not just like a robot like AI. There's other AIs too. There's virtual world AIs. And this lady married someone that she basically created for money that she spent herself $300 to make AIs or whatever. I don't know if that's like a monthly payment too. Like I don't know if she's paying like a certain amount a month
or a one and done,
or a one transaction thing. But like you create a person that looks like whatever you want. But then also while you're interacting with that person, you're also an AI person because it's a virtual world. And so then she creates herself looking nothing like her real self, but like way out of proportion, more supermodel-y. Of course, the AI that she decides to marry, I'm putting quotes because I don't know how legal this is or not, but she divorced her real husband and remarried an AI. And she made the AI look like Henry Cavill, which used to play Superman or whatever. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing his name right. But he sounds and looks like him, which, first off, I wonder how he feels about this. I bet he doesn't even know about it. But if he ever finds out about it, I'm sure there's something he would be like, whoa, this is weird.
Probably legal action he would take or something.
To me, personally, have we fallen that far where people are marrying AIs now? And like, yeah, I get like a lot of the stuff that people back in the day judged and stuff, like, you know, people that are gay, lesbian, trans, stuff like that. People would literally like look at that and think it's the devil. And like, to an extent, I understand why those people are the way they are. Obviously, I don't fully understand it, but like, I don't think there's anything wrong with those people. I think that's just the way they are. But when it comes to this, it feels like somebody needs mental health. Like this has got to be bad for your well-being. To like think that an AI that you are purchasing, whether it's a monthly purchase or a one purchase thing, is like capable of the love feeling, and like you're just putting yourself at a bad health span. Like, how do you even like go into a normal world view and be like talking to people like, oh yeah, me and my husband, you know, we were having dinner last night and we had this crazy conversation? No, because like half the conversation you're curating. Like you're literally, I don't know. It'd be like back in the day, like if somebody was talking to themselves or hearing, that'd be like basically a schizophrenia, basically. But that's my thought on it. I'm sure maybe I'll probably get hated on that for that. But what are your thoughts?
Well, first of all, I think that is completely insane.
My point of view or theirs?
Them divorcing their husband to marry something that's like not even real.
Yeah.
I'm trying not to be judgmental. I'm not trying to sound judgmental, but what I'm about to say is probably going to come across that way. So,
kind of like I did.
Yes. But I mean, like, I feel like it's completely stupid to do that. But again, like, why did she divorce her husband? We don't know. Like, was it like a bad marriage? You know, those are the things that we're not told. And then, like, if it was that way, you know, good for her for getting out of that. But again, like, we're not going to be told that. All we're told is that this lady divorces her husband and marries this AI.
Yeah. So, like, I'm all for the divorce. Because, like, two people not being happy together, obviously don't need to stay together.
Right. But it's just, what are you getting out of it? Like,
yeah.
You know, like being in a relationship with you, you know, like I get the companion, I get the, you know, the humor, the, you know, whatever out of it. But if you're dating, whatever you want to call it, an AI, which, you know, artificial intelligence is what that stands for. Artificial being the key word there. What benefits do you get out of it? Like, you can't touch him, you can't hug him, you can't, you know, kiss him, you know.
Oh, it is our relationship.
But see, I can touch you though. But you know what I mean.
No, I get it.
But
I
it's
just
like,
thought that was funny because a lot of people say I am robotic.
no, you are, but
Yep.
anyways, that's my question is, as I just stated, what is she getting out of it? Like, what feeling, Like, I just think this whole thing is, it's weird, and I feel, like, really, like, in today's world, have we really come to that? Like,
That's what I'm saying.
Like, come on, like, good on you for, divorcing your husband if it wasn't a good marriage or
Maybe
whatever.
good on him. Who knows? Maybe she's the weirdo.
Right. Well,
We don't know.
she is the weirdo for,
in
my opinion.
Maybe he's the one that actually left. They're just putting that.
Right. But, like, this whole thing, it's
weird.
Oh, hands down, it's weird. I don't get it. I don't understand it. Just like back, as you were saying about like someone being gay, lesbian, or whatever, people hating on them because it's like they don't understand, and it's like they fear what they don't understand. That's why it's like, oh, we don't like the gays or whatever. But then it's like, please, someone make this make sense to me, because it quite literally doesn't. I'm not trying to be hateful. I'm not trying to be disrespectful or nothing. It's just literally my brain cannot wrap around the concept of what she did.
Yeah. And it's one of those things where, like we said before, the gays, trans, lesbians,
yes,
what have you, people saying that was irrational back then, like, or not necessarily saying it's irrational. They're saying it was fear of the unknown or whatnot. But it made sense to a degree, like there was some logic into it, like they actually have something to backtrack it. Oh, well, this is why I'm this way, because this, at least there's some rationality from those 3+ things, because like I don't know them all, to be honest with you.
Right.
And I don't want to sit here and list them all.
Well, right, and to interject here real quick before my train of thought leaves, and I feel like with like the whole like them people not understanding like the gay and all of that is because also like look at the time like period, and like the way that those people who don't like the gay, that they were brought up that way. They were told and taught that like, oh, this is wrong.
It's also one of those things where like same-sex
marriage.
Couples? No, Congolines? What the fuck's the word?
Congolingas?
You said it wrong too. I know that's not it. But anyways, when 2 of the same sex have sex,
have relations,
has been around since way before time. Like it's been in the Greek mythology and all that stuff. So like it's proven that like it was there before all of this. So like getting the hate now is kind of weird, because there used to be whole cities that were just that way. Again, not my cup of tea, but ain't hating. I understand. Ain't hating, celebrating, I guess.
Right, and again, I'm not trying to show any hate towards this lady. Again, it's just I literally like don't understand. Like it doesn't make sense.
That's the thing. Like AI is not even like at its peak yet. Like it still sounds robotic, even if you put another person's voice on it. Like there's certain words that they cannot pronounce, and it sounds so. You have to be delusional to be like, haha, that was funny. But then like they said the pronouncement wrong. Like you put JT for a guy's name, and it goes Jit.
Because like, it doesn't understand.
It doesn't, yeah.
Or notice that it's JT.
And also, I guess you wouldn't put... Is there a person that's controlling this AI, like, 24/7 now, because, like, she's on it all the time? And it's like, putting in my 8-hour shift, you're going to have to clock in.
I'm tapping out for the day.
Because, like, yeah, it's an AI, but, like, who's programming it to say what it's doing next? Like, it...
Right, I mean...
Obviously, like, what if it, like, shut down for a day, and the guy's like, I got to put it on? Like, I don't think there's a guy typing there, because I'm sure they have some kind of software that just automatically computes, like, kind of like a Google thing.
I'm sure.
But at the same time, like, somebody's putting in overtime for that thing, I think. It's like, Oh, lady, leave me alone.
Right.
But then replying back is,
But do you honestly think like AI is the way of the future? Like that's like where
also, who led who on? Because what if the AI led her on?
I mean again like these are
What
all
if this
questions.
AI has like full on Riz, full on game? You know what I'm saying? Like, what if he's putting on the works now, I'm almost for the AI now. Like, damn, you go get it, son. But like, what's next? He's gonna be in a robot. He gonna take over the world.
But like so
You gonna take all my women?
But so my question is, you know how like on Facebook, how now it has like that meta AI. Like,
Yeah.
do you really feel? Do you think that like that's the way we're going, like in the future? Like,
I sure hope not. This is a weird future. Like, what happened to the future where we got flying cars, we got robots that do work for us while we kind of sit around and do what we want? No, we're falling in love with the robots. And like, this is a weird way for them to join us because like, if people start having relationships with AIs, then what's next? An AI president?
don't say that.
I mean, you never know. Like,
Right.
it's just like, this is getting a little too far. And like, will it get to a point where you can't tell what's AI and what's real? Not saying it'll be in our lifetime, but I'm saying this is a weird step. This is a point in history that needs to be like Sarah Connor level, like, come back here and stop this moment because this is how the world ends.
Right, and I'm not gonna lie, back when I was like in elementary school and like it was like what do you think the future is gonna be like in the year 2000, I was highly disappointed when there were no flying cars.
Right?
And
I was promised a jetpack.
Right, like that's honestly what I thought, and
You know,
here we are.
know-
No flying cars, no jetpacks. Come on.
you know, people from Vietnam were promised jetpacks. Like, that's how some of them went out there to war. Were promised jetpacks. To when we came up with the technology, they were promised free jetpacks because they were going through all that crap in Vietnam.
Sure, they're.
That's
quite
why there's
upset.
always the jokes. Where's my jetpack from like the older people? It's like a lot of the Vietnam people are passing away now. They never got their jetpack, and they went through all that crap. That's probably one of the worst wars we went through, not counting the Civil War. I can't even say it.
Silver.
See, now I want to say silver. It was a silver war.
Civil War.
We fought for silver.
Not the gold, but the silver.
Yeah. It wasn't go for gold, it was go for silver.
You mean the Civil War?
Civil war.
Civil. War.
Civil. Civilization. Civil.
Oh man.
It's a hard word to say. I promise there was no drugs or drinks.
The only thing I've been drinking is water.
Cafe.
Maybe that wasn't the best thing
Probably
for you to
not.
have. Oh God, you're not gonna go to bed tonight.
Nope.
Anyways.
And we got one more episode to record.
Oh boy. Woo.
I don't know. I feel like we did pretty good on this episode. It was a good rant.
Yeah.
I like the flow on this a little more than our old ones.
I wouldn't necessarily call them rants. I feel like you rant when you're mad. I feel like these were more like tangents.
Tangents. That's the word I wanted.
And I do agree, like, I feel like there was more, like, flow between me and you, and there wasn't, like, okay, the one set thing we're going to talk about now.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like, oh, wait, I'm going to interrupt you real quick, because I have a thought, and we all know I have the memory span of Dory. You know?
And it's one of those things where, like, when we have a title already,
I feel like we have to, like...
we stick on it and then we freeze. We're like, crap, what's the next part? But, like, when we literally don't pick a title and then we just talk, and then the title is whatever we find the most interesting, I think that's kind of a better formula. And I think that's what most people do.
Better format.
Yeah.
Well, I think we just, this is, like, what, our 17th?
17th episode.
Woo!
Stick around for number 18.
But I feel, we kind of had to find, like, what kind of worked for us. And, what we started with wasn't... Like, at first it was like, okay, cool, the first few episodes.
I feel like they were get-to-know-you episodes. Like
And then
they
now...
got to know us.
And then now I feel like this between, like, us now was more natural, more like how...
Yeah.
Like, more like a conversation and not like a scripted sort of thing, if you will.
All right. So we want to get out of here? let's give them the outro. So, you guys enjoyed this content on couples therapy. You know what to do. Give us a like, subscribe. Please hit the comments down below. You can just put a random number in if you want. If you made it this far, put 1872. You know, something like that. But we're going to get out of here. And you're going to follow us. And you know what? You're going to watch the next episode. And watch our previous episodes.
Yes.
Guys, it's been great. Girls, it's been even greater. I don't know why, but it is. Until next time, guys. Much love. And peace.